All right, so we're going to switch to Google. So we're designing this page right now. Um, this is what we want to design now. We're going to do that as fast as we can. This should be a bit faster. So if you can imagine also, this is a box. It's always in boxes. I will leave the footer to you also. The footer is easy to do. So I'll just focus on the top, the header, and the body here. So let's quickly imagine this as a box. So if you go to the box part, you will see that this whole thing here is a box, right? The entire page is wrapped in one big box, right? Sorry for my drawings. One big box. Then you have the header, which is the first row here, this whole part here, right? And then you have this second half, which is the main body area, which is always similar to what every website will have. Then you have the footer part, which is this side, right? Which is this gray section. So those are three parts. So we have the outer shell, we have the header, we have the main area, and then we have the footer, which is four. Then inside the header, there's nothing on the left, but we have something on the right here that we need to create. Then in the main area, there's nothing more than this giant div at the center where we'll now break it up into this. Then here we have a box that is also divided into two halves, this one and this one. Then we have one of these ULLI. So let's quickly dive straight into everything we want to do. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to create a new file, Control N on my keyboard, spin up my HTML content, right? And then my head tag, body tag, which is the HTML structure, right? Yeah, so quickly create the file by saving, Control S on my keyboard to save. I'll call it Google. I think I have one already. Let me call it Google Real. So I'm going to call it Google Real. This is the real Google. That one was created for, I don't know what I created that on. So yeah, so I'm going to create the boxes quickly. So I'm going to create the first box, which is the main container. I like calling the outer container the main container, right? And inside that main huge container, we have the header. This time I'm going to call it the header. Then we have the main area, which is the body part. We have the footer, right? We have the footer, which is the bottom area here, which you are going to do yourself as assignment. I'm not going to touch that part. I'm going to focus on here. So the main header part is made up of two sides, or actually one side, which is just three things. So I'm going to use a UL and LI. If you know what a UL LI is, it's used in creating a list. Anytime you have things following each other like this, anytime you have stuff like this kind of stuff, this kind of stuff, this kind of stuff at the bottom of the screen, anytime you have, items following each other in quick successions and with equal intervals, just use a UL LI to do it. It makes your life very easy. So I'm going to call this an ahref, which is a link, right? And this is Gmail. I'm going to break this. And then we have the next one. I'll just duplicate this. With I use Shift Alt down arrow key, Shift or down arrow key to duplicate like that. Then the next one it's an SVG, which I have downloaded already, and this one is a button. It's a button, so it's just sign in, right? Sign in. This one is an SVG. I'm going to look for that SVG. I copied it from this page. It's an SVG. I'm not even sure which one is SVG, but I think it's this one. Let me see. Let me test it out. So an SVG is a type of image that is a vector shape. It's vector shaped image, right? So it scales. So let me launch our project so that we can see what it looks like. I'm going to go to my foundational class, look for my Google Reel. This is my Google Reel. Just drag and drop it on the page. It's going to open. Oh, I've lost. Did I lose my Google? I didn't use it. Just side by side. So this is my SVG. My SVG. Okay, this is my search SVG. So I'm going to replace it now with another SVG. I think maybe this one. I'm not sure which of the SVG now. Let me test this one. But I think it's actually this one. Yeah, I think it's this one. All right. So I'm going to paste this SVG in here, where I am going to replace it with this other one. All right. I'm going to replace it with this. So I'm going to paste this right here. So that SVG, like I said, is a type of image, just the way you have PNG, JPG, and all of that. It's a type of image. It's a type of image that allows you to stretch it. It can be as big as you can see the search icon on the screen, and it can be as small as you want it to be without pixelating. So the reason why the advantage of using SVG is that it does not pixelate. If you have seen some small images, if you stretch them too much in terms of width, they will start getting blurry. So that's why you use SVG. SVG are cleaner and they are better. So let me refresh this page. This is also the wrong SVG. This is the icon. This is the, what's it called now? This little icon here. But what I'm looking for is this guy. So let me see if I can grab that SVG. Let me just show you how I got this. So the same way I'll be getting the color, right click and inspect, and then you will see the SVG right here. So this is the SVG. You can just right click on it and copy it. That's the SVG. You can also download it if you want to download it. So I'm going to go to my code. I'm going to replace it now finally as the right thing because I've been getting the wrong thing so far. So that's the SVG. So I'm going to refresh now. And then this is it. So you can see it's very big. I'm going to make it small. So I'm going to make it small, like, let me just do it on the screen right here. I'm going to right click, inspect, and give it a size. Give it a size. Inline block. Yeah, that's it. And then I can reduce it as much as I want, like a 20 something, 29, 30. And the color, I think the color is about gray or something. Yeah, something like that. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go into my code. Give this span an ID. I'm going to give this span an ID so I could style it. I'm going to call this, what do we call this icon now? What's this thing called? Let's call it menu icon, for example. Right? Call it menu icon. Go to our head, give a style, and call it a menu icon, and then drop what we copied from our page there. Right? So we have that. So now that I have this, I can, continue. So I want to style these three things to look exactly like this. They should be on the right. They should be equally spaced out, and the button should be. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to shift them on a straight line first of all. And how I do that is that there is a property for your LIs that makes them to stand on top of each other. The same thing similarly to what you have. You can see it here. LI by default is display list item. So you need to change that to display inline block instead of list item. So once you make it inline block, it's going to be on a straight line. And you can drop a padding in between them. You can see. Then you can see vertical line is middle. You can see, right? So I can copy all of this, go to my code, go to my styling, and paste it right here. So because I have only one LI on my code base, I don't think I will have one LI because I'm going to say use LI for these guys here. I'm still going to use LIs for these guys. So I don't think I want to make all my LIs to be this styling. Let me think about it for a second. Okay, so for the other LI to also be display line block, to also be padding this, to also be padding. So this will apply to all my LIs because it's similar. Yes, it's similar. So that's it. So I'm going to leave it like that. So it's on a straight line. Then the last thing I want to do is remove this underline symbol here. So I'm going to go into my LIE, test decoration, it's none. And then the color is very light gray. And then you can refresh and see what happens. Yeah, so that's it. So the light gray is not the light gray I want. So I'll probably just pick this particular shade of color that we use here. So the color is, what's the color now? What is your light gray color? Looks like this. This is the color right here. So I'm going to use that same color so that we get the same feel. So that's the shade of color that if I refresh now, I should get that same color right here. All right, so that's it. So the next thing we want to do is to align this to the right, take it to the right. So it's very simple. Just inside the div that you have here, you can just apply text align right. As you can see, it takes it to the right. So that's for the div, the main div right here. So I'll just tell my header, which is what is housing all of that header, and make it text align right. So once I refresh, I retain the same thing. So the last thing we want to do is to make the button look like the way we want it to be, right? So we can make that button blue and all of that. So I'm going to come here, look for the color of this blue. I'm not sure I know the exact color. So this is the exact blue color. I'm going to come right to my code and then look for, did I give that button a name, an ID or anything? I'm not sure I did. Let me look for that. Okay, I didn't give this button anything, so I'm going to give it an ID. Let's call it sign in, for example, so that we can style it. So I'm going to call it sign in. Come up here with an ID, sign in, then give it a background color. And that's the background color, right? So it might not look nice yet. Yeah, I'm sure it will not look nice. So we need to give it some bit of padding and color and all of that. So maybe a padding of about 10 pixels all around, and maybe about 15 on the left and right. Maybe the color is about white, which is what it is. Then if you refresh now, you should get something more interesting. The border radius is curved on the edges, about 6 pixels thereabout. So 6 pixels, between 4 and 6 pixels is perfect for your border radius. Don't use more than that. But 6 is even too much for this one, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, 6 is too much. I think they use 4. So it's way too much. All right, something like that. So I think theirs is longer. So it needs a bit more padding on the left and right, which is this one. So I'm going to make it about 25. Yeah, make it longer. Yeah, so that's it. That's what we have on the top. So a bit of space at the top. So that's a margin. You can see our own is almost touching the top. So we go to our header. We add a bit of a margin top just to shift it down. Right. So I'm going to give a margin of about 20 pixels, and that pushes from the top, as you can see. So now we have this. Yeah. All right. So the next thing we want to do, have I closed my page? I've closed one of our Google pages. Oh my God. Okay, let's just load Google page. Close our Google page. So I'm going to look for Google page. How do I get Google page? Google.com. All right, let's get back our Google page. Okay, so this is what we're designing, and this is the page we are designing, and this is our exact match. Right. So this quick thing we want to do is this area now. So the next thing we want to do is this second box. We're done with the header now. So it's this second box in the middle. So let's go to that main area. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to expand this so that you can see a bit more. And I'm going to close this SVG. Let me close this SVG. So the second part we're going now is the main area. The main area. And if you look closely, let me just reduce this screen so that we can see side by side as we walk. Right. I think it makes a lot of sense when you are looking at it in real time. So if you can see the main area here, and you can see what you're trying to design, it's right here. So let's quickly just spin up all the text. So the first thing is an image, right, which is socks. We're going to do that. We're going to insert the source soon. Then we have an input box, which gives us the search bar, the search bar there. For all of this, there are 3 things right here. We have the microphone here, or the microphone icon. We have the search icon. So there are 3 things. I'm going to wrap them in a div. So the first thing we want is a span, which is the search icon, as you can see. Then after that comes the input box. Then after that comes the microphone, right? So that's the arrangement, right? So we have the search bar on the left, the microphone, we have the input box, and then we can use that. So we're going to start them. So we call this the input, the search bar itself. This is the search bar, right? So we're going to work on that. And we can call this the what is this called? Now, this is actually an SVG. I'm not sure. Is this a logo or an SVG? I'm not sure now which of this is. So the next thing we want to do is the 2 buttons down here. So I'm going to put them in also. They're just 2 buttons. One of them is Google search, and the second one, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to call it I'm feeling lucky. I'm feeling lucky. Anybody lost? Please, if you are lost, can you speak up? So far, anybody lost? The chat. Anybody lost? Can I continue? I need to hear your voice. Can I continue?
Continue, sir. Continue, sir.
All right. All right. So we're going to continue. So the last thing here is the last part of this, which is the ULL. Like I said, the ULLI. Right. So you have the ULLI, The ULLI consists of Google offered in, then you have another one, house, and you can just duplicate this as you want, and call this Igbo, call this video, and call this Nigeria. Right, so you can remove the last one. So that's all. We fill up the content. Now there won't be any styling because it's all not without CSS. So I'm going to refresh. We just get a chunk of item piled up here. Right, so I'm going to quickly start styling them. So this is what we are going to. So the first thing is the logo. I'm going to download the logo, which I think I did before. You go to my assets. This is the logo. It's just google.png inside my assets. So I'm going to just point to it. It's inside my assets folder and it's google.png. And then I can call it Google logo. So I can style it as I want, if I want to. Then this search icon here, there's nothing to do much here. I think this is an SVG, so I'm going to bring in the SVG there. Like I said, you can easily right click and bring in the SVG, but let me, I think I downloaded that already somewhere. This is it, I'm sure. I'm not sure now. Let me just copy and test and see. The SVG for the microphone, I think this is it. We go here, refresh. Okay, that's the search. That is the search. So I'm going to drop that in the search. That is the search. And then I'm going to style it shortly with a styling. I'm going to style it shortly with a style of width. Maybe a 30 pixel just to make it small. All right, so I'm going to do that so that it can become small. Let's refresh, become small. All right, so that's what we want. So the next thing I want to do is to close up this search. How can I close that search? And then I want to insert the microphone also. So I'm going to look for my microphone. Microphone, where are you? Microphone. Let me test it. That's my microphone. I'm not sure if that is it, but let's just see. Okay, that's not it. That's the other one. So I guess this is my phone. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do that. All right, so that's the microphone. So now we can arrange them. We can arrange them appropriately as we want to. I mean, we can style them. So the first thing we want to do is to first centralize all of them. And like I said, how do you do that? Give the container that is housing them a width. Anytime you want to centralize a box, give that box a width, then give it margin 0 auto to jump to the center. So what is the box that is housing every of this? Is this main? Is this main? So I'm going to give this main a width, and I'm going to give it margin 0 auto, and it's going to centralize. So if I do main, I think we have main before. Do we have main? Okay, we don't have main. This is the first thing. So I'm going to give it about 30 pixel, 30% of the screen in terms of width, and margin will be 0 auto. That means 30% and jump to the center. You can see that. Nice, nice. So the next thing we want to do is I still want to centralize everything, even though the box is being centralized. Even the content of the box, I want it centralized. So I can do that also, which also does that for me. So next thing we want to do is to bring it down also to centralize at the bottom. So I'm going to give some bit of padding top, or I can say, yeah, I can give padding top if I want to, like a 200 pixel, 300 pounds. It's not too much. I think that's too much. 100 should be perfect. All right, so maybe like 150. All right, okay, something like that. So we are getting there. But the next thing I want to do, I think this is too small, so I'm going to increase this to about 40%, so that can increase a bit more. Yeah, so that's the next thing. So the next thing we want to do is to give this width. This width is 100%, and it's curved and looking nice. I'm going to grab the border radius, the border color. I always want to pick the exact color shade. So I think this is the color. Color. I think this is the color right here. No, this is not the color. The color should be border. Where are you? Where is the color? Let me see. Oh, I see. Okay, I got you. I got you. This is the guy. Yeah, this is the color right here. Okay, so that's what we need. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go into my my input box. You can see my input box right here. You can see it's very ugly and tiny. So I'm going to start styling. I love styling in real time so I can see because it's a bit complex. So I'm going to style it in real time right here. So I'm going to go here, give it a border radius first of all, about 10 pixel. Border radius about 10 pixel. Border radius. I'm going to give it a border of 0, which is border of this thing I just used. Then I'm going to give it a width of 100%, which makes it big, and then maybe a bit of padding of about 0 pixel, just increase it a bit more, and then maybe a bit more. Don't know how big that is, about 15. Yes. And then what else? This border radius needs to increase, maybe like 20, 25, 30, 40, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, so we can copy all of this now and take it into our input style. So it's going to be main input. The input inside our main, right? The input inside our main is what holds all of this styling, right? If you have a question and you are lost, please ask me. So this is the input box inside the main div. Input box inside the main div is what carries all of this styling. So the next thing we want to do is I want to position this guy inside and this guy inside. So let's do that. So what are their names? I think I gave them names. This is, let me see. Let me give it a name. This ID right here. I'm going to give it a name of about, let's call this the search icon. The search icon, so that we can position the search icon. Right, that's the search icon. And then the other guy down here, I'm going to call it the microphone. Microphone, so that we can style it and position. This is still the input box right here. I didn't give this any ID or any class because I'm using the tag directly. You can see I'm using the name directly. So let's position those things, the search icon and the microphone. So I'm going to say, the first thing I want to do, anytime I want to use something called position absolute, I need to give the parent position relative before I can give position absolute to the child, so that they will not be scattered on the screen. So I want to give the main position relative so that I can use position absolute on the search icon. Maybe if you don't understand, you can ask me. So on the search icon, I can use position. Let me do it in real time so that I can see this. So I'm going to go here, right click, inspect, and position it in real time. So I'm going to go into the search icon. Search icon is right here. I'm going to say display inline block first of all. Inline block. Then I'm going to position it absolutely to the screen. Then I'm going to just move it a bit to the left and to the top, and press a little bit there. Maybe just a little to the left. Okay, why is it not positioned? Where's my main? Oh, the main is right here. I think I need the search. I need search. Where are you? Search is what I need to give that guy. So search is what needs to carry this. Where's that position relative? It's not the main. I will explain why in a second. So search is the parent of search icon. So you apply position relative to the parent so that when you apply absolute to the child, it will not fly. As you can see, let me explain before some people will get confused. So let me refresh. So see what happens right now. If I apply position absolute to this search icon here, which is what I've done here, and this search is not position relative, it's going to be snapped to the parent, the nearest guy with the position relative, which is the main, because that's what I gave position relative. So it's going to snap to the copy, and that's what I want. I want this icon to snap to this input box so that I can position it there. So I guess some people will say ask question around that. So I will explain. So this position relative, I can refresh this now, and then I can position this absolutely again. Go to the search icon and position it absolute. Position absolute, right? And then top is 0, and then you can shift it a little to the left and a little to the right as you want. Yeah, and then background color, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't want the color, I want transparent. And then What else? I think that's it. We can copy all of this and put it in our search icon. The same thing applies to the other guy. You can scroll down, look for the other guy, which is the microphone. Click on the microphone, display is inline block, or just position it absolutely like that. Shift it to the right, 0, and then maybe a width, reduce the width a bit. Okay, that why width is not working out. I'll check why. Okay, that's the div. This is the div. I will apply the width to the icon itself. And the width will not work on this. So the next thing we want to do is top, which is to move it up. So we can shift it up somewhere around there. But I need to reduce the width first so that I can see the perfect positioning. So this guy, microphone, where are you? Microphone, where are you? Okay, so the style is 50. Style is 50. Microphone, where are you? Right, so let's reduce you a bit. Something like 30. I think 30 will be perfect. Now that you're 30, you're perfect. And give you a 5, and then you can give you maybe a 6 right there, or maybe even more. Right there, 15, and yeah, 7, 8, or something like that. So I can move you in right here, and then I can remove this style inline, and then we can stick with the width that we added here, which is 30 pixels. I'm going to go off, and then we're almost done. I'm going to go up, paste the code, and apply the width of 30 pixels, and that's it. So if I refresh this now, we are close. We should get everything as we should. I see. We have it. So the next thing we want to do is to start these two buttons and make them look like this. Okay, this is wider actually, so I need to still increase the spacing I gave to this my main container. I think that is too small. The main 40%, let me say 60% actually, so that a bit wider. Aha, something like that. Aha, something like that. Maybe like 55, I guess. Something like that. But I think it's going to be increasing with time. Oh, let me not make this percentage, because what I mean when I make it percentage, when I increase, if you notice, when I increase the screen, this guy does not increase. This is the original Google. So they have a fixed width, it does not increase. When I see my own, you can see when this is a problem with percentage. Percentage grows as the screen grows. So there was a deception here because it's using percentage. It looks like we were getting it right. But because it was percentage, as the screen grows, percentage will grow. So it can't be a percentage size. So it has to be fixed width. So we have to fix it at maybe a 300 pixels so that it does not grow with the screen, something like that. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Yeah, 300 is too small, 700, and that will remain with the screen, so it won't grow. So that's what it is. You can see. So that's what we need to use. All right. So I think we're getting this 650. We're getting this. We're getting that. So the next thing is when we start these two buttons down here. I think I need to go to my input box. This is my input box, right? If this is my input box, I need some margin on top and bottom. Everything is kissing the input. You can see the button kissing and all that kissing. So I don't just push this bottom, push them away. But it's not pushing away. This is my input box. Let me see, just a second. Where is my input box? Let me check these guys and move them away. I want to see where they are. Okay, so they are not inside anything. Then the search. Oh, is the search I need to give that, not the input box. Where is the measure? So where's the search? So is this search that needs to carry this, because that's the guy that needs to shift. All right, so that's it. So now that we have that, sorry, the next thing I want to do is to move this to, why are you saving? To style these buttons, right? So I'm going to just scroll down and look for them. I'm not sure we give them any name. They're just ordinary buttons. So I'm going to style them as ordinary buttons. So we're just going to come here, call them button, because they're just two of them and they look alike. So I'm going to give them background color of transparent. Is it transparent really? I'm not sure it's transparent, but we'll get back to the color. Border is 1 pixel solid and something very light. I'm not sure what color border is also. Then maybe a little padding around it, about 10 pixel and maybe 15 on the top and bottom. And then the margin on top and bottom, margin top is about maybe 20 pixel, right? That's it. So it's going to shift down now, as you can see, right? Then the border radius, I think there is a bit of a border radius around them, maybe at about 4 pixel, just to give a nice little curved edge, something like that. Then the margin, let me just use the same margin instead of top and left, you just give it margin. Then left and right is about 10. Just to shift spacing between them, something like that, but I think it's too much, 5. All right. So that's what we have, right? So let's get the actual colors now. So I think it has a background color that is very light and there is no border radius. I'm going to pick up the color, the actual background color, not transparent. I think the actual color is right here. This is the actual color. So I'm going to grab that. The actual color is this color. And then the border color is this color. Right, so we're going to use those so that we get the same feel. So when I refresh mine now, I should get the same exact same feel. All right, so that's it. But the last thing we want to do is these guys at the bottom here. I think the border is this 0? Is it 1 or 0? Aha, something like this is what it looks like. Yeah, so the last thing we want to do is these guys there. They are blue, they are hrefs. Let me see if I use hrefs for ours. Yes. Oh, I didn't use hrefs. So they are hrefs. They are links. That's what I mean by hrefs. They are links. So you can click them, right? So I'm just going to copy this and paste it right behind the Igbo, the Yoruba, this, and then this one, copy it right in front, and then in front, right? So that's it. So they become links, right? That's it. So now you can mouse over, click and click, except before that they are blue. So I'm going to go right up here. They're supposed to be blue in color, so we're going to go right up here. What are they inside? Is there any name? ULLIA. ULLIA. So I'm going to say ULLI and an A. The color is blue. When I refresh this, I should get that. Is that the only ULLIA? What's going on? Something not closing properly. ULLIA. Oh, the A's are not closing properly, actually. Sorry. That's why it's not working, to be honest. All right, that's it. So when I refresh, I should get the same thing, and that's it. It's also affecting this guy because we use ULLIA, and that guy at the top is also ULLI. So we want to probably add something to differentiate the guy at the bottom. So I'm going to add something here called maybe links. Just call them links or something to differentiate them. So I'm going to go into my UL and say I'm talking to the links, right? So that this guy on top can disobey, right? So now they have disobeyed and these guys have obeyed. So that's it. You have questions? Quickly, like I said, I'm not going to, because of time, bother about footer. That footer is very simple and very easy. Just create a div background color. These are HR. This is align left, just the way we align this to the right. And then these are also UNLIs, similar to what we created UNLIs, centralized, test align, centralized. So we have questions. That brings us to the end of this class. Did you learn anything at all? Can we take some feedbacks quickly before we go?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, Obina, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Good evening, all.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you said if we want to center a div using margin, we use margin 0 auto.
Yes. You give it a width. If you don't give it a width and just give it margin 0 auto, it won't move because it will still occupy the entire space. So you need to give it a width.
Okay. What if you want to center it vertically? Like you want to do vertical, you want to center it vertically. Want it to come in the center vertically.
So vertically, you can use flex. The only appropriate way to center it vertically is to use flex. Right. So you can give the div display flex, and then you justify content or align content center.
Oh,
You understand? Align justify content or align content center. We centralize vertically. So you have to switch to flex to want to centralize vertically. So the way you have margin zero auto for horizontal, vertical, you can use auto, but most times flex is better for vertical. Flex is better. But if that's for a D, but if we're talking about a text, if you want to centralize the text vertically, you can use vertical align center. There is vertical align, but it works on text more than boxes, more than divs. Okay, is that Obina, right?
Yes, Obina.
All right, good. All right, any other question?
Yes, sir. Under your, can I see your HTML, sir? Like, can you scroll down a little bit, sir?
My HTML page, let me
see the body.
The body. This is it.
You created a div for footer, right? Oh, okay. So if we are to do the footer, we just have to do under the div of the footer here.
Yeah. Just continue from here.
Yeah. Okay, all right, sir.
Just start your LIs and start creating your links and all of that.
All right, sir.
Right.
Sir.
Any other question? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, please. I want to ask the styling method you are using, which is inline styling. I thought we could also use external styling. Which one is?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. You can do that. You can copy all of this. It's the same thing. Inline styling, external styling. You can copy all of this. Everything I've done so far, I can remove it. Move it into, an external file, right? And then do the same thing. You get, so you can link this and say google.css or google_real.css, for example, right? And then create a new file, paste it there, save it, and call it google.real. Your CSS, that's all. It's the exact same thing. So I don't just, for me, when I'm coding directly, I do this and then I finally now copy it into this place so that, but I don't like switching, because I'm doing stuff in real time. I don't want to be switching. I'm pasting here and then I type code here, I switch here, So I do my CSS in one place, and then when I'm done, I move it into the final destination, which is another external style sheet. So that's what I do. So it's the same thing. So now I've moved it now for you. So it's cleaner and better. So you've moved it and it's okay. If you refresh it, to give you the same result. As you can see, nothing has changed so far. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Any other question?
Yes, sir. I said, sir, in that position relative, you apply it to your input, right?
Position relative was applied to the icons.
Relative. I thought
okay, the absolute was applied to the icons. The input was applied to the div that is housing all three of them. There is a div that houses all three. Look at it here. So there is a microphone div. There is a search div there. Let me close this one. I don't know why this refuses to close.
I thought it was going to be applied to the input itself.
No. It needs to be applied to the parents. Okay. So anytime you are using position absolute on any element, the parent needs to be relative. Okay. So if I'm going to apply absolute to this search icon, look for the parent of the search icon, which is search, and make this parent relative so that when the position absolute applies to this, it's not going to jump because absolute positioning Hello, can you hear me now? No.
We lost you a bit.
All right. So
we can hear you now.
All right. So as I was saying, I said anytime you are applying position absolute to any element, make sure the immediate parent is position relative. That way, the item that you're applying position absolute to will not disappear. Let me show you again what I'm trying to say. If I right click on this guy now, and I remove my position relative that I apply to this search, look at it. This is the search here. Is the container for the search icon, the microphone, and the input. Is housing this search div, is housing all three of them. The search icon, the input, and the microphone, right? If I remove relative from this guy, because I apply absolute to this guy, it's going to look for the nearest relative parents. And the nearest relative parents here might be this container or this body. So it's going to jump up. So let me remove it. So look at this search now. If I remove this relative I put here, see what will happen. You can see it jumped to the top. Why? Because the nearest relative parent is the body. It's the body. It's not this, it's not this, it's not this. So it's going to look for the nearest relative parent, and in this case, it's the body. So it's going to jump to the top. But that's not what we want to achieve, because to position it now from here and start doing top and left and bringing it back here, that would be messy. So if you apply position absolute to this thing that you want to position, make sure the parent that is housing it is relative, so that we snap to that and not to the top of the page as it is doing now. That's the trick. Do you understand? All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Very good. So any other question? Lawal, I think you raised your hand.
So I want to ask a question. Like this search box, just like how we use Ahref when we are creating during our first class, that if you click on the link, it will redirect you.
Yeah.
What function are we going to, if we want it to like function like a normal web page, whereby once you type in whatever you want to do and then you click on search, it goes, what function are we supposed to use?
So it's usually a button, and it could also be a link that the JavaScript code will pick up, right? So it could be that we have not gotten to JavaScript, but it could be like, for example, this search now. This search here, where is the search again? This is search icon here. You could say that this search icon, right? This search icon, for example, I can come to the search icon in my, I think I've moved my CSS. So I can say, first of all, the cursor of my search icon is pointer. What that means is that if I refresh now, when I mouse over, it tells you something that is clickable, as you can see. That's cursor, first of all. So the next thing I can do, I can say that on click of this, I can write a script, that says on click of this guy. We're not in JavaScript, I'm just showing you the possible ways that it's done. So you can say, okay, I don't have jQuery here, but let me just introduce jQuery. Or let me say, what can I introduce now? Document.get elements by ID. Get elements by ID. So you can say search icon, right? Well, this might confuse you. Let me just introduce jQuery.
Okay.
So you can just do, I want to do an on click, and then on click of that button, you can call an API that looks for the text that you search for. You can call, you can do several things. So there are several ways of doing it. It's not one way.
Okay.
But we'll get to, by the time we are doing the JavaScript class, we'll do all of that on click, on mouse over.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question before we go? I think that's the last question. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Paste this right here. All right, so this is script, source. Coming here. All right, so that's it. So you can link this into this text. And then we have that. So now that we have that, we can do jQuery, document, but we'll learn this when we get to JavaScript. EX6, we can do when they click on search. What was that thing? Search icon, correct? the name of that guy. I'll click on it. Click events, same thing, function, come back here. Yeah, so you can trigger something if you want. Just click on that. Let's see what we have. Where is this guy? Okay, so that's it. So just wanted to show you. You see that? So you can type something here, right? Let me push this search icon. What's input? That input box. What is the input box? I want to pad it from the left. That is the input box. This is the input box, if I'm correct. So padding left. One padding from the left is because when I start typing, you can see it's typing on top of the icon. So I need to create some bit of space right there. Maybe like a 20 pixel on the left so that it shifts everything. 20 is not enough, like 100. So it start typing from somewhere far away from that. That's too much. Like 50. All right. So yeah. So that's it. So you can search, and then when you click, it can pick up. For example, it can pick up whatever is in that input box, right? So you can say it should alert what is in the input box itself. All right. So if you refresh again now, and you say this is my search params, right? So you should pick that up. Okay. So it's not getting that input. Let me give it an ID so that we can get the value. Where's our input box? Our input box is right here. So we can give it an ID. Call it params. Just call it params. So we can pick up that. So it can be params right here, and then you can get it of value. And tell it to alert us. So whatever I type in here now should pick it up in the box. Yeah, that's it. So if I type say search for Google, you pick it up. So this is how you can send. So you can send this test now to an API, and an API will return the results right to you, something like that. So that's how that works. So when we get to JavaScript, we'll do a lot more of this, and then we can get some results and show. So that's actually in JavaScript class. So we designed this Google search engine sort of, and then we'll finalize with the YouTube page. When you get to YouTube, so we're going to design this YouTube page where we'll be able to fetch all of this content from an API, from YouTube API. So we design our own YouTube page like this, and then we'll be able to fetch all this content with all these images, thumbnails, and then when you click on it, it should play the video and all of that. So we're going to design this entire YouTube page in our under our JavaScript session, right? So you'll be able to, it's more like you'll be able to design YouTube website after the JavaScript class, right? So because then you will learn how to use fetch, Axios, and all of that in JavaScript. All right, so there are no questions anymore. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are very few tonight. We used to have 20, 19%. This is just 11. All right, so I'm going to take I'm going to note the people that are here. I'm thinking these are also the serious persons that are always been in class. So no problem. I think we'll continue our class on check the next date for me. Anybody knows the next date for the next class?
I think it's on the 13th.
On the 13th. That's Tuesday, right? I'm correct. On the 13th.
Yes,
all
sir.
Right. All right.
That's
all right.
Tuesday.
All right. So the assignment I'm going to give you to do for me is that you need to design your own Facebook page. You need to design your own Google page, right? The complete Google page with the footer, the complete Facebook page with the footer. Then the last thing you want to do for me is that I'm going to give you a Figma design to do. So I'm going to give you one of our Figma designs, something we've worked with in the past so that you can work with. I'm going to drop the link on the group, maybe tonight or tomorrow. So you should work on that. So 3 things you are doing before Tuesday: the Google landing page, Facebook landing page, and a new fresh design. So thank you very much. That should help you to practice all the stuff we've learned in HTML and CSS so far, right? So we see you by Tuesday on the 13th. The JavaScript class, if I'm correct, let me check something before I go. Let me just stop sharing or stop recording. Let me stop.